The entire transcript for this, all the sources and everything, will be posted at Rumble. It's going to be cross-posted over there, not on YouTube because YouTube sucks. Basically, if the divorcee Stan Seder, whose ex-wife left him, was it 6 years ago, Stan? And I remember you used to have a hearty guffaw over Rush Limbaugh when he got a divorce. Funny how that boomerang came full circle, wasn't it? I just had to mention that because I had a couple of Stan's autistics come over to my channel. Of course, they have no channel content at all, which is pretty much all his supporters. Don't know how. They probably have multiple channels. Who knows? But you mentioned Stan Seder's divorce. What's it? What era are you from? And I would mention them. Well, he used to have a hearty guffaw over Republicans having that issue, and then he had the same issue, which makes him a hypocrite. But anyways, if the divorcee Stan Seder were a city, he would be Portland. Joe Biden once said, "Show me your friends, and I'll show you who you are." Well, Joe Biden, Stan Seder, divorcee, show me the cities that the Democrats have been running for decades into the ground, and I'll show you what your voters are, largely drug-addled lunatics who are underemployed or unemployed. And Portland's in danger of becoming the next Cleveland or Baltimore because Cleveland especially has had to demolish tens of thousands of buildings because people left, because it's not safe. And the only businesses there are government businesses, taxpayer funded. There's not much private industry there. A lot of Democrat cities, it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next 10 years. And the Twin Cities and Seattle are also going down that road. So Chicago's getting there. But Baltimore, Cleveland, and Detroit are three of the worst, and Portland's well on its way. So I'm going to play a little clip, and then I'll have some data for you at the end, which will just buttress what I'm saying. I mean, I've been over a lot of this in my essays, which is why when people debate me on the most violent cities in America, that they have lots of black-on-black homicide, and they tend to vote Democrat, they always lose because I've written what could be several book length of data on this, and all the Democrats have is insurrection. Red states have high homicide rates, but who's murdering who in those red states? Red states. Back in 1984, Reagan's sea of blue, but who's murdering who in those red states? And in what counties? Counties run by Democrats. But anyways, I digress. But I got a little clip for you, and then I've got some data, some very uncomfortable data for the Democrats at the end. And we'll prove to you that Portland is well on its way to becoming the next Cleveland.
Because I always tell you the truth. Subway crime in New York is down. Right? Subway crime in New York is down. Okay. Why? More cops enforcing the law, which means arresting people who break it, irrespective of what they look like, irrespective of what the demographic profile of the arrestees is going to be predominantly. If you just enforce the law, and you have enough resources there to do so, you get less crime. The most obvious thing imaginable in the world of criminal justice and public safety, but Democrats are just going to start doing it in time for the next election cycle in some places, and Biden's going to run as a law and order guy, and they're going to hope you forget that they were the... Here, do we have a defund montage handy, by the way? I think we should always have our defund police montage at hand. We do. Whoa, here's what the Democrats were saying recently.
So we've been talking about defunding the police.
There's some issues that we ask police to do, like mental health issues or policing in schools and all the rest, that perhaps we can shuffle some of that money around.
Suck it up. Defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police.
Mayor Eric Garcetti saying take some of the money from policing, about $150 million.
I applaud Eric Garcetti for doing what he's done.
Not only do we need to disinvest in police, but we need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department.
So yes, defund your butts. Defund you.
Yes, I support the reallocation of resources from NYPD.
Reallocation, defund, all this stuff. Top Democrats. That's what they were all saying. And they no longer are going to adhere to that, are they? I know that it sounds crazy, but you're hearing it from me, and you know on national security and on law enforcement stuff, you know I read the tea leaves pretty darn well. Biden is going to run as a law and order candidate. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. It's a big lie, but we have to fight against the lie.
And this is, other than the fact that Portland has a lot of very unscrupulous, slimy people, they have intimidated, I'll get to that, intimidated their police. So here's the data. Portland murders, according to the FBI, in 2015 they had 10. 2016 they had 16. 2017 they had 26. In 2018 they had 26. In 2019 they had 29. In 2020 they had 53. That was a George Floyd spike for that drug addict. But how many young black men murdered young black men in the hood in drug-related murders every day across the U.S.? Several of them. But George Floyd, we better burn down half town for him. In 2021, they had 83. Here's the Oregon State Police numbers. 2016, Portland had 15 murders. 2017, it was 23. 2018, it was 16. 2019, no data available. 2020, 49. 2021, 78. And in 2022, 78, although not all months were available. And I've got the links. You can look that up too. Check my work. Portland murders, according to the Portland Police Bureau, 2016, they had 16. 2017, they had 25. 2018, they had 26. 2019, they had 36. 2020, they had 57. Excuse me. 2020, they had 57. 2021, they had 88. And in 2022, you had 97. I've got several links to businesses are leaving Portland due to the toxic culture there and the rampant crime. Jeff Ahern linked to a couple of his videos. He's over on Rumble. Very good guy. His guy wearing the suspenders. He's had a couple videos on chronicling Portland. And businesses are leaving. People will start leaving too. Portland may be the next Cleveland. Another metric that has become a major problem in many U.S. cities, motor vehicle theft. The Portland Police Department does not tell us how many of these were carjackings, so I'm not sure how many of these cars were stolen with the occupant in it. For what it is worth, here are Portland's motor vehicle thefts. According to the Portland Police Department, in 2016 they had 5,244, 2017 7,413, 2018 7,010, 2019 6,555, in 2020 6,563, in 2021 9,235, in 2022 11,093 vehicles were stolen in Portland. Defund the police, get rid of the police, that'll keep those vehicles from getting stolen. They're stealing them because of the police. Portland assaults. In 2016, they had 7,525. In 2017, they had 8,054. In 2018, they had 8,722. 2019, 9,101. In 2020, they had 8,889. In 2021, they had 9,571 assaults. And in 2022, 9,307. That is a sharp increase the last 2 years over the previous several behind that. This is the real insurrection, a Democrat insurrection, and this has happened in Portland. Defund the police or intimidate the police into doing no proactive policing, or thin their ranks to the point where they cannot do their job or be in the problem neighborhoods, which is why in Seattle, if your car gets stolen and that's all that happens and there was no other violence, you might have a cop show up at your door in an hour or so because they can't deal with it, and that's becoming a problem in Portland too. Defund the police or intimidate the police into doing no proactive policing, or thin their ranks to the point that where they cannot do their job or be in the problem neighborhoods. This will result in fewer crimes being solved because the police show up long after the crime has been committed. That's already, even if you have adequate policing, a lot of times you've heard the old saying, when seconds count, the police are only minutes away. Take away, here's another facet of it, the Democrats want to take away guns from law-abiding citizens so they cannot defend themselves from BLM and Antifa terrorists in it, or just run-of-the-mill criminals who don't have a political stripe. They just want to hurt people and steal from people. In addition to that, let violent criminals out of prison. They did plenty of that in Baltimore recently, and San Francisco and Dallas. Let violent criminals out of prison so they can harass and assault the citizenry. Because if it's black people getting arrested, we got to let them out. If a Kyle Rittenhouse defends his community from fatherless BLM terrorists, try to put him in jail for murder. That's another facet of the Democrat insurrection. When all that is accomplished, folks like Maxine Waters et al. Will gin up her unemployed base, and the next time they riot, there will be nobody around to stop them. They'll tell America, give us the Marxist communist society we want, or we riot. This will not happen in Iowa, but it's working in Portland, and the good people and businesses are pulling up stakes and leaving. And I've got some links to several items there. My favorite one is Paul Joseph Watson's video on Portland. That's about almost around 5 years old now, and it is unfortunately aged very well. Accurately, I guess would be a better term. So, Portland, this is what happens when you give in to the Democrat mob. Portland, look at how crime has absolutely skyrocketed in that city over the last several years. It is becoming an inhospitable hellhole, and this is the way they want it. Like I said, the real insurrection is a Democrat insurrection.